What's up, guys? Samoan Fan 101 here, and this is going to be my Payback review. As I'm recording this is Wednesday, May 18th, 2016, and Extreme Rules is this Sunday. So I want to get this video up before Extreme Rules happens, because seriously, that'll make me look like a complete dork. Anyways, unlike my WrestleMania review just a couple days ago, this is going to be much easier to remember because it's a much smaller card and it's much easier to sort through. And with better booking, I might add. Better booking. Okay. On the kickoff show, we had two matches, which is something we don't usually see often. We have Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. This match was originally on the actual pay-per-view card, but was moved to the kickoff show. Why it was, I really have no clue. But it just was. I guess it wasn't pay-per-view worthy, which makes sense. It definitely wouldn't have been as good as the other matches. Although, considering what happened in the opener, maybe it would have been better if it was on the card. So the kickoff show started with Ziggler and Corbin. An okay match. It was a decent match. It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't like a good match, but it was an okay match. Ziggler got in a few moves. Corbin got in a few moves, including it was like a powerbomb style move from the outside, but instead of powerbombing him to the floor, Corbin threw Ziggler over him, and Ziggler hit head first into the steel post. Kayfabe, of course, he obviously had his hand up. But that was cool. I don't think Ziggler won with a zigzag. I think he won with some kind of cradle pin or something. I don't know. I honestly forget. All I know is that the match was okay. So it wasn't a bad match, and a worthy pre-show match, if you will. Now, considering the work we saw in the next match, by all means, that should have been on the card, and it would have gotten more time, and it would have been more awesome. Ziggler and Corbin got about 7.5 minutes. The next match, which was Kalisto versus Ryback, got about 8.5 minutes, maybe 9. I forget. Somewhere around that area. Somewhere about between 8 to 9 minutes. Kalisto defending his United States Championship against the Ryback, who came out with a great belt. On the back of the belt, because he wears that belt, but he always takes it off before the match anyway, so I don't know why. But on the back of the belt, it said pre-show stopper. I thought that was funny. Kalisto and Ryback had a pretty damn good match. It was a really good match. I actually thought this was one of the best matches the entire night. It was like number 3 or 4 on the best matches of the night. Right behind the two great matches that we expected, and possibly ahead of the other every other match on the show. So the fact that this was only given a short under 10 minutes, it was Kalisto and Ryback, and they somehow pulled out a fucking gem of a match here. So this was a really, really good match. Especially for a kickoff show. So I recommend that you guys see it. Kalisto won. And obviously you should know, because Kalisto's defending the United States Championship against Rusev this Sunday. So we'll go with that. Sorry about that. Well, then we get onto the actual pay-per-view card. We start off with... What did we start off with? Oh, yeah. That's right. We started off with the calamity of what happened on the show. An accidental calamity, unlike the purposeful one later on. It was Cass and Enzo. Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy against the Vaudevillians. It was the tournament final to determine the number 1 contenders to the WWE Championship against the New Day at Extreme Rules. Now, about 4 minutes in, Enzo whiplashed his head against the ring rope very violently. I think it was like the middle rope. He violently whiplashed against it, and he received a concussion. It got real very seriously, especially when you saw the image of Colin Cassidy seemingly crying because this was not an angle. This was legit. This was real. The dreaded X symbol, everything. Thankfully, at the end of the night, his condition was a concussion. So, thank God it wasn't worse than that. I don't know when Enzo will be back, but hopefully very soon. Get well, Enzo. The next match was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn. Best match of the night. This is the match that should have... I love the ladder match because it was awesome, but this should have been the match that happened at WrestleMania. This match right here. It was awesome. It was great. Good storytelling by all the guys. Kevin Owens won clean with only one powerbomb. Because usually, with like big opponents, it's like you always have to kick out of the finisher at least once, maybe even twice. But no. Sami Zayn never got in the haluva kick. Or hell of a kick, I don't know. He never got the haluva kick in. Kevin Owens got a surprise pop-up powerbomb. Won the 1-2-3. What happened next was gold. We wanted an interview in the ring by Byron Saxton. After a little trade back and forth, specifically Kevin Owens running down Byron Saxton, Saxton says to Owens, well, you want the Intercontinental title because Kevin Owens is obsessed with getting back his Intercontinental title. God, I'm actually dusty here. I gotta dust out this room, I'm sorry. But Kevin Owens is obsessed with the Intercontinental title. At first I was like, oh, I wanted him to go for the WWE title. But then I thought, wait a minute. He's making the Intercontinental Championship feel important. Go for it. Go for the Intercontinental Championship. If he makes the title feel important, that's all well and good. I have absolutely no problems with that. Next match was the Cesaro versus the Intercontinental title champion, The Miz, in the Intercontinental Championship match. Actually, doing me, I forgot. Put Kalisto and Ryback number 4 on the list, because then this match happened. Best match Miz has had in years. Very good match. Told a good story. But what made this match better was the commentary. Kevin Owens on commentary was absolutely amazing. He basically owned all three of these guys. And I loved him for it. Kevin Owens stayed behind because he wanted to watch a title match. Because, of course, he's going after it. So, near the end of the match, Sami Zayn came back and attacked Kevin Owens. So the feud is still going. And they brawled a little bit on the outside of the ring, but they got in the ring briefly or on the apron, whatever, and they brawled there. So their battle had absolutely nothing to do with Miz or Cesaro. The problem is this distracted Cesaro when he was about to pick up the win, and then Miz rolled him up, pulled the tights, and 1-2-3, Miz is still Intercontinental Champion. What happened after this was awesome. I think, if I remember correctly, don't mind that. If I remember correctly, Cesaro hit Miz with the neutralizer. Sami Zayn hit Cesaro with a move. I think it may have been the haluva kick. I don't know. But I do know the last image was Kevin Owens giving a pop-up powerbomb to Sami Zayn. And maybe the same to the other guys. Maybe the same to Cesaro. Not the Miz because Maurice got him right out of there. But Kevin Owens held the Intercontinental title high. So that set up the Fatal 4-Way match we're getting this Sunday. So I'm excited for that one. I hope these guys get a lot of time. Give them 20 minutes, they'll fucking tear the house down. Not so much Miz, but Cesaro, Zayn, and Owens, they were top wrestlers in Ring of Honor, which is something Lundrick has said. Ring of Honor seems to be the unofficial developmental brand for NXT and WWE's main roster. My apologies. After this, we got was it the women's championship match? No, it was Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. This was definitely a good match, though I think these guys could have done better. I felt like they were holding back a little bit here. Maybe it's just me, but this was still a very good match. This was around like on par with Kalisto and Ryback, if not a little higher or a little lower. So good match here. Dean Ambrose got a win against the big star, which we never hear often because they've been making Ambrose lose over and over again. What the fuck? So, at least Dean Ambrose got a win, and they're having a Steel Asylum match, an Asylum match this Sunday at Extreme Rules, which is basically like a no holds barred match with like a weapons match inside a black steel cage. Cool. Now, on to the next match, which was the last two matches of the night. The co-main event was Charlotte versus Natalya. This was a good match here. On the actual pay-per-view card, the exception of Enzo and Cass against Vaudevillians, because that I'm not even gonna give a rating due to what happened. Charlotte and Natty was aside from the opening, Charlotte and Natty was the worst match of the night. Which it showed how good the card was, because it was actually a very good card. And it was a good match. It was just a good match. Not a great match, not a terrible match, a good match. Right in that perfect middle line. Now, it would have been better if not for the fucking overbooked shit ending. So, Charlotte got Natalya in a sharpshooter. You know, mocking her, because her main move is a sharpshooter. By the way, Charlotte had Ric Flair in the corner, what she's not going to have this Sunday, and Natalya had Bret Hart in her corner on that Sunday, on Payback. What happened was Charlotte got Natalya in the sharpshooter, right? Now, Charles Robinson, who is for a long time it's been called Little Nate, because he's a huge Ric Flair fan, was apparently revealed to be paid off by the Flairs so that Charlotte could get an easy win. Natalya had Charlotte in the sharpshooter. Natalya never tapped. Of course, JBL says that she said "I quit," which was never said on the monitor, so fuck you, JBL. And Charles Robinson called for the bell. This was another fucking take of Montreal. And remember all those times before Bret came back, he's like, when WWE always kept on saying the jokes, Bret should get over Montreal. Well, Vince did not get over Montreal, and still hasn't. Because he keeps using the fucking finish. And with Bret Hart right there, it was really disrespectful. Now, after the match, Bret Hart and Natalya gave Ric Flair and Charlotte both sharpshooters, respectively. You're probably wondering, if Bret Hart knew this was going to be the finish, why did he go? Well, simply put, Bret Hart thinks the booking at the point in the match sucked. He thought it sucked balls. He thought it was ass. And yet he came back anyways. Why? Because he wanted to be there for Natalya. Well, I love Bret Hart. He gives absolutely no fucks. No fucks has been given. The day that Bret Hart dies is the day that he has a fuck to give. Sorry about that, guys. Dusty room. My door's closed. Fan's not running, but I gotta get on top of that after the video. Well, after another video I'm making. A brief, short one. You're gonna want to see that after this video. So anyways, that was the finish. The finish sucked, and it took away from the match, but it was still a good match. Now, I want to make this quick because my throat's killing me right now. Ooh, wow. Got that out of my system a little bit. Well, main event. AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, a WWE champion. This was a great match, although there was one little problem with it. This was a basic retread of Shawn Michaels versus Vader from SummerSlam 96, 20 years ago. Where the champion fucks up and the match is allowed to continue. The champion fucks up again, or the challenger, like, quote-unquote wins, or, yeah, okay, so basically, this is what happened in the SummerSlam match. Vader, it was Shawn Michaels versus Vader. Supposedly, Michaels supposed to drop the title of Vader that night, but instead Michaels pulled the creative control, he became a douchebag, and threatened Vader's career because he worked stiff. Well, of course, yeah, he works stiff. That's just who Vader is. Yeah, Michaels was an asshole back then. Anyways, as I was saying. So, first, Shawn Michaels got counted out and Vader won, but the match was allowed to continue at the behest of Cornette. So, it was made no count out. Then, it was no disqualification after Shawn Michaels, I guess, accidentally got himself disqualified, so... Or something like that, I don't know. So first it was a count out, then it went to continue, then it was a DQ, then it went to continue, and then we got a winner, which was the champion. Well, here, slightly different, but very much the same. Styles went for a phenomenal forearm from the top rope to the floor, on Reigns through a table. A very risky spot. But thankfully nobody got hurt. Anyways, so Shane came out, made it no count out. Then, when a little bit later, like a minute or so later, when Styles came from the top rope, top turnbuckle, Reigns punched him, but I accidentally punched him in the balls, punched him in the low blow area. So, almost as if right on cue, Stephanie comes out, makes it no disqualification. So, this of course allowed Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows to come in to give the run-in to hurt Roman Reigns, and the Usos came out, fought with the former Bullet Club members. Styles was outside, I guess trying to, I forget what he was doing, but Roman Reigns came out. He did a big dive over the top rope, but Styles was a smart one. He hid behind the barricade, waiting for another phenomenal forearm. That's exactly what he did. He threw Reigns in the ring. He either gave him another forearm there, or no. He did a 450 splash, I believe, and from a springboard 450 splash, which Reigns kicked out at 2. And then after an attempted Styles Clash attempt, Reigns eventually gave Styles the spear. 1, 2, 3. Match is over. Out of all the roads they took, this was the one I feared most. Reigns pinning Styles clean. No Finn Balor coming out and screwing AJ over. No AJ turning heel at the Bullet Club. No Reigns forming the Roman Empire with Anderson and Gallows. And not even an AJ Styles win. Roman Reigns won clean. 5 roads you took the worst one. But, hey, it gave way for an Extreme Rules match this Sunday which A, is going to be an awesome, awesome match, and B, it's going to hopefully prove whose side Anderson and Gallows are truly on. It's all about... that's what I like. It's an issue between the wrestlers that has nothing to do with the fucking authority. It's nothing to do with Shane, nothing to do with Vince, nothing to do with Stephanie. It's everything to do with just these two guys and the championship, which is what it should be about, not the fucking authority. Thank God. So, good pay-per-view, on par with WrestleMania, but that's because there weren't as many great matches or moments, but the booking was a fucking load of a lot better, although still some shitty booking, or over-the-top booking in the two co-main events. So about like a 7.5 out of 10. So, that's my Payback review. My brief prediction for Extreme Rules this Sunday, from what I remember. Corbin to pin Ziggler, because that match was just announced for the kickoff show. New Day to retain against the Vaudevillians. Reigns to retain against Styles. Kevin Owens to be the new Intercontinental Champion. Rusev to be the new U.S. Champion. And Charlotte to retain the Women's Championship. Oh yeah, and for Chris Jericho to beat... No, not Chris Jericho. For Dean Ambrose to beat Chris Jericho in the Asylum match. Those are my predictions. And, so, until the next video, which should be coming immediately after I upload this one, see you next time, guys.